This video is sponsored by Cellart's Playing Cards. Thanks to Cellart and a successful Kickstarter campaign, here we have the SCP-Foundation playing cards, a full pack of regular playing cards, but all SCP themed. Each of the 4 suits have their own distinctive background style, and all of the jacks, queens and kings have their own illustrations, as well as both of the jokers naturally. The cards are all beautifully printed on high quality paper, they have their own custom reverse image and come with their own gilded packaging. So the next time you are having a games night and are in need of a pack of playing cards, ditch the old familiar ones and get these awesome ones out instead. Follow the link in the description to the official website and get your own deck of SCP playing cards now. Good day everyone and welcome back. Today, part 2 of SCP-5000. This video does contain some scenes of strong violence and has been authorised by the following council members and administration staff. Let's begin. Composed File 1-2. I've reached Site 19. Security's in disrepair. Most of the anomalies let loose a while ago, so it was actually pretty easy to get in. Still stressful, moving out of the way of the researchers as they went about their business. They were still talking like colleagues, discussing how to get maximum human casualties, like it was something they'd always been doing. But their eyes, it was like something was missing from them. Some spark. I couldn't see them as human looking at their eyes. Maybe not even alive. It's hard to describe, but it gave me the creeps. Accessing the Foundation database with some stolen senior staff credentials, I think I've managed to put together a basic timeline of what happened right before their declaration of war. I don't know what it all means, but I guess it's a start. 16th of December 2019. The O5 mark a project called Numa as being of special interest to senior staff. Apparently, it was a mass amnesticization project like Kaleidoscope, except mostly focused on the collective human unconscious, the psychospace, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, there was some kind of breakthrough in mapping out the psychospace, except I can't see what it was because it's fucking redacted. Typical. 17th of December 2019. A vote is undertaken by the O5 Council, with the result being unanimous. Ethics Committee also concurs. Don't know what the votes were about, because it's fucking redacted. 19th of December 2019. A series of instructions, redacted instructions of course, are sent to all senior staff members and site directors. A wave of suicides and resignations go out across the Foundation, with Dr. Charles Gears being one of the employees resigning. 22nd of December 2019. A number of files are sent out to all remaining senior staff members and site directors, with instructions to also disseminate those materials among the staff serving under them. The files are accompanied by the message, "Harden your hearts." All suicides and resignations immediately cease following dissemination of the materials. 25th of December 2019. Full block on all communications in and out of Foundation sites. Termination of the majority of human and human sympathetic anomalies is performed by the staff at each site over the course of the next week. Information suggests an assassination team was sent after Dr. Charles Gears, but it doesn't say whether they were successful or not. 2nd of January 2020. Mobile task forces are dispatched to all exclusionary sites to execute all personnel. Immediately following the conclusion of these missions, the Foundation declares war on humanity. Not quite certain what all this means. Did the O5 Council send out some kind of mimetic agent to get everyone to go along with them? But that wouldn't explain why the O5 Council would want to wipe out humanity in the first place. I don't get it. I just don't get it. More information on the anomalies the Foundation are actively using too. With the news down, it's hard to get much solid info outside of their own records. And even those are still goddamn fucking redacted. I mean, it's the end of the world. What's the point of redacting shit anymore? Who cares? Just tell me what's going on! Fuck it! I'll put it all in a table for posterity or whatever. SCP-1370. Television service temporarily returns. All channels are propaganda speeches from SCP-1370, rambling on and on about how he's going to take over the world or whatever. This one isn't actually that bad. SCP-1048. I don't know how the Foundation managed to catch that thing in the first place, but helicopter footage shows hordes of bears created by 1048 rushing through the streets of Paris. The footage isn't too clear, so I'm not quite sure, but it looks like there's a massive red teddy in the distance as well, walking around next to the skyscrapers. SCP-1290. SCP-1291 and 1292 are moved from their original position and used as a rudimentary projectile system to launch projectiles at a secure GOC installation called Ganzia. Not 100% sure from the files, but it looks like it's just one of a frankly obscene number of anomalies they're using to try and bust in there. If you ask me, they'd be better off firing missiles, but nobody's asking me because they've all gone nuts. SCP-1440. SCP-1440 is transported from refugee camp to refugee camp by Mobile Task Force Nu-22 Rocketmen, where its anomalous effects cause rapid devastation to those fleeing communities. Strangely enough, the way these events are described in the files makes it sound like SCP-1440 actually has no effect on the Foundation personnel assigned to it. SCP-1678. The Foundation intentionally abandons containment of SCP-1678, removing personnel from the immediate area. Once chaos caused by additional anomalies makes evacuation of London impossible, officials from the British Occult Service direct citizens to take refuge in SCP-1678 below. Once the city has reached capacity, the Foundation detonates the nuclear device stationed there prior to abandonment. Going to try investigating some more before getting out of here. See what I can find out. Notice: files deleted. Time elapsed, duration unknown. Journal entry 17. It's been about 3 months maybe since my last entry. God knows what I've been doing since then. The time between then and now is a complete blank in my memory, and it looks like the files from that period have been deleted as well. As far as I know, I should be the only one able to do that, so take that as you will. I seem like I've been through a few rough patches. I have a few scars that I don't quite recognise, and I have a bandage around my temple. The exclusion harness doesn't seem to be damaged though, so I don't know what hurt me. Did I fall off a cliff or something? The sad part is I can actually see myself doing something like that. Never was the smartest. Site 19 is long gone. Well, it's still there, I assume, but I'm halfway across the country. Couldn't tell you why. It's weird though. I feel like I have a purpose now, even though I'm not 100% sure what it is. Just where I need to go. There's a briefcase in my hand. I'm having trouble recalling what exactly is inside it. All I know is that it isn't round, and I need to get it to SCP-579. Notice: files deleted. Time elapsed, duration unknown. Journal entry 18. I underestimated how long it would take to get to SCP-579. Site 19 was a trek all on its own, but 579 is another story entirely. I wouldn't even know where it was without this documentation, which I have no idea how I obtained, but that's beside the point. I've stopped counting the corpses I've walked past. It's probably in the quadruple digits now. Jesus. Maybe even higher. Came across the dead body of a kid, a little boy, in a house I was grabbing some supplies from a while back. At first I thought he'd just been shot in the head, but when I went to bury him I could see there were things moving underneath his skin. Little pale worms, hundreds of them, that poured out the second I touched him. They all had his face. They were all laughing. They scurried off into the drain. I don't try to bury people anymore. Keeping going is a lot more difficult than you'd think. Notice: files deleted. Time elapsed, duration unknown. Composed File 1-3. This thing in the briefcase is a godsend. Don't know what the hell it is, but if things are getting too much for me, I just need to open it up, and the next thing I know, I'm miles further along from where I just was, feeling all warm inside like something gave me a pep talk. It's like my own personal skip button for when things are getting rough. Managed to get temporary access to the Foundation database from the corpse of an agent I found half buried in the woods. Wolves were already helping themselves to him, but they obviously didn't mind me taking his laptop. They didn't notice me anyway. The Foundation is still throwing everything they've got at everyone else. I'll put it in a table, might as well. SCP-5000. The Foundation intentionally triggers the eruption of Yellowstone, obliterating SCP-5000. For now, anomalies deployed by the Mana Charitable Foundation have slowed down the environmental effects at an absurd rate, but it's still just a matter of time before we choke on ash. SCP-2200. Somehow the Foundation seems to have mass-produced SCP-2201, and those swords are making their ways into the hands of refugees. With all the victims that SCP-2201 are cutting down, SCP-2203 is overflowing with a mountain of living 2204 trapped under a mountain of dead 2204. SCP-2241. One of the few human anomalies that weren't terminated. It appears SCP-2241 is being used as a living weapon to destroy the biggest refugee camps that crop up, forcing survivors to remain in smaller groups. Unknown how they're getting it to be that loyal, but I doubt it's pleasant. Last information on SCP-2241 says that it's being deployed to assist with the siege at Ganzia. Apparently, they're having some trouble. SCP-2466. SCP-2466 was constantly being used in order to compel survivors originating from California to perform actions both socially disruptive and physically hostile. This was apparently effective, but after the 4020th use of SCP-2466, it crashed and became unusable. Guess there weren't any residents left. SCP-2639. SCP-2639 were being dispatched to survivor communities and installations for groups that opposed the Foundation in order to kill everyone present. Apparently they were told that they were fighting monsters that had escaped from containment and were destroying the world. Clearly they figured out that wasn't the case, because they've refused to do anything since about the 6th time they were deployed. Good for them. Journal Entry 1-9. It's nice having company, even if they don't know you're there. I'm sat around a fire with a group of GOC soldiers who are trying to make their way... Well, I don't think they actually have anywhere to go at this point. Just wandering, maybe. I thought about revealing myself, trying to ask them to help me to get to 579, but I don't want to risk it. Maybe I've just gotten used to not existing. Forget being a tourist. I'm a ghost. And that concludes this entry. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did. Next time will be the first of a monthly series of Dr. Bright videos covering both the official restrictions and others submitted by you. That one will be out very soon. Be sure to follow all the social media outlets for video updates. Check out the SCP Illustrated shop for posters and prints. All the links can be found below. And if you can't wait days and weeks for new material, then consider joining the Patreon or becoming a channel member. You get early video access, submit Dr. Bright restrictions, get Discord access, see all the sketches early, request your own sketches, get your name in all the videos, and so much more. And thank you to Generals Alert, Rick Trexon, Sam B, JT Walker, Horizons, Jax Merrick, Alexander, Number of the East, Rome, Arbiter Soul, Pepperfish, Fallen Angel, and Dr. Soup. Big thanks to the council members Kibara, Lenhox, Captain Core, Hunter Killer, Arctoast, Arctos, Shadow, Romulus, the Commissar, Kilo, Cat Clone, and Nightmare. And huge thanks to the administrators Kimana, Viger, Gilbert, Panzer, Brian, and Wunderschnell. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all soon, and take care.